What's up, guys? Have you decided that you want to expand and grow your Lego Castle army or your peasants to add to your displays? Well, if you have, good for you, because in this video I'm going to be going over my updated 2025 guide to growing your Lego Castle army or peasants. So right now we are on the official Lego website, just lego.com homepage. You see it right at the top, lego.com. If you go to shop, we go all the way down to bricks and pieces and then go to pick a brick. Okay? And then this is Lego's official online parts catalog, so you can see lots of recommendations here. You know, you can most pieces are on here. You obviously can't buy certain licensed items like Star Wars clones and stuff because that would just be too easy. But what you're going to want to do is you go here, and then if you go search within set, click on this, and then it'll ask for set number or name. So you can put in the name, but right now I have the number, so this will be the medieval town square. As you can see, it'll pop up right here. If you click this X, it'll go ahead and get rid of that. So you don't want to do that. You can go ahead, click it right there. It'll remember for you. And then it will go ahead and bring up all the pieces that are in this set that are available. Obviously, some items are out of stock. So what you want to do is, obviously, you have one filter selected, the set. Go to piece type. You're going to click Lego. That's not as important. Show in stock items only, and then go to category, scroll down, and then these are all your categories. Animals, obviously you have animals right here, cables, connectors, different capes and stuff, but you're going to go to minifigure parts. Okay, once we're in minifigure parts, you can see all the obviously minifigure parts that are on Pick a Brick. Now mind you, some of them are obviously out of stock and not all of them are on here or stay on here. But what you can do is, so if you want to build any of these minifigures, you can go pick this one, this one, this one, you know, pick whatever you want. Go ahead and get some heads, grab those, and then what you're also going to do is get hair or minifigure accessories. And we can go ahead and get shield, you know, really whatever you want, crossbow, you know, and just go through and pick out what you need. There's your helmet, and then you can keep going down, different weapons, hats, accessories, food pieces, legs, really everything you're going to need. And then we can go down here, you see this piece and your parts. So go down here, and as we can see here, I'll just go ahead and get rid of these. These are parts I had from a previous order. As we can see right here, these are the parts I just added. They're all in your cart. And then you can click up here and see standard. So this is what we're going to have to explain next. You see how this says bestseller and this does not. So bestseller items ship within your country. So for me, the United States. And items that are not bestseller, like this head or this knife, ship from Denmark. So you're going to have two different shipping fees and two different service fees. So the service fee is almost always $7, but you can get around the service fee by adding $14 worth. So if we go here and put 20, say 24. Okay, so you see it jumped up to $34, but we got rid of that service fee, so you don't have to pay the extra $7. And then if we go ahead and put another 20, because we are above, oh, that's not 20, that's 2. Okay, but we are at $35. As you can see right here, that means we get free shipping. So what I'd like to recommend for all these orders you're going to be placing is always try to get at least $35, so you won't have to pay any service fee or any shipping fee. You'll only have to pay tax. And then for standard, unfortunately, you will have to go and go in, come on, and go ahead and change it. So you have to pay a separate shipping fee and a separate service fee, but as you can see down here, it removed that service fee, and because it's over 35, it also removed the shipping fee. Now obviously I'm not going to be buying all this, so we can go up here, scroll all the way back up to the top. I'm not going to click accessories because we don't want that. X that out, and then we can go over to the Viking Village. Just open a new tab, copy and paste set number, put it in here. Don't put it in there. Put it in there. Go ahead and click that. And then here we have all the minifigure parts from the Viking Village set. And then accessories, we can get our helmets and stuff. Scroll down, there's your Viking helmet, another Viking helmet, different torsos that you can use for medieval knights. They look really good, different heads. And then obviously here we have the Lion Knight's castle. You can also rinse and repeat, take the set number, go to the top, copy paste, there you go, Lion Knight's castle, and then obviously it has more parts, so it's going to be a bigger list, but you can get whatever minifigure parts, helmets, faces, more helmets that you want, and not all of these are obviously bestseller items, so you will have to pay 2 different shipping fees, but for the most part, Black Falcon pieces, Forestman pieces, the actual Knight's torsos, they're all going to be on bestseller normally, and that way it ships to you faster. Bestseller items normally ship within a week, and standard items ship anywhere from a week to 60 days, so you will have to wait a lot longer. Alright guys, we're on to our second method here. So I've just went in the search tab, put in Bricklink, obviously popped up first. We'll go ahead and click Bricklink. If you don't know what Bricklink is, very similar to the Lego Pick-a-Brick, much harder to use, but it's been around for longer. It is owned by Lego now, it wasn't originally, but as you can see, sets, parts, minifigs, and mocks. What you're going to want to do is minifigs. And obviously everything you could ever want is classified here by theme, but you're going to want to go scroll down, and here we have castle, and then any faction you might want. So we're just going to click Black Knight, and then you have every figure that is available currently. As you can see, there's a lot, and there's no next page, and we're just going to scroll to the top, go with this figure, click on him. Now, what you're going to want to do is click Details. Okay, and that loads up, obviously, the information released in 1990. What set he comes in, how many parts. But you can scroll down and you have all your sellers. So, obviously, these people only have one for sale. That's the country. This one's from Spain by Black Manic. And obviously it's going to be 861, but what you can do is highest quantity. So the highest quantity we have here is 3 of them for 13 each. See, this is not a good example, so we will go click this guy, details, highest quantity. There we go. This person has 6 for 7 each, so a little bit better. You're just going to have to keep going through and clicking and seeing which ones you can get at the best price or the highest quantity. See, he has 15 for 6 each. See, that's a good deal. Obviously used. I think the most I got was 27 of a certain minifig for about 5 each. It was pretty cheap, and then you can come down. It obviously has it in purple for which ones you've clicked. I did fantasy era. There's obviously a lot for fantasy. We can go down and we'll just get this guy. Details. Highest quantity. There's 6, so not very many of him. We'll try this guy. Highest quantity. 2 of him, so not very many of him. You just got to keep going and checking which ones, lowest price, highest quantity. See, lowest price for him, 325. Very nice. Highest quantity, you can get 100 of them. Now that's obviously a high price, 15 each, but that is, and they're all new, that is an extremely large quantity. And then you can just keep looking. There's 2, 3, 5, but this is not as good as a method as the Lego Pick-a-Brick, but you will have a wider variety to choose from. Lego Pick-a-Brick only has recent sets and recent minifigures, whereas this has basically every castle theme ever created. So we have Kingdoms, Knights Kingdoms, Royal Knights, which I really like. We can go through here, click, find whatever we would need. Quantity, and then obviously on Bricklink you can do the same thing for sets. You just have to come down and find castle wherever it might be. This might take a minute. Here we go, castle, and then we can go, we'll say Dragon Knights, and then here you have all your sets. We'll just grab the first one, details, and then how much they're selling for. So $15 used. You don't really have to do highest quantity for this one because you're normally only going to be buying one of each set, but if you're more into getting sets and not actually army building, this is an extremely good method. And last of not least, we're going to be moving on to our final method, and probably the worst out of them all. Alright guys, so our last method here, we are on eBay. You can really use any resale platform like Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist, but eBay, this is what I started out on when I was army building. Obviously I just put in Lego Castle minifigures, and obviously I can just scroll down, and obviously you're going to have a super wide variety. Some of this stuff isn't going to be Castle minifigures, some of it's not even going to be real Lego. But what we can do is we can go to condition, auction, buy it now. We're going to want to go to buy it now. You're not really ever going to want to try to auction. And then obviously I'm going to do list because that makes it easier on your eyes. And we can just keep scrolling until we find what we need. Or we can go ahead and select our price ranges. I'm gonna say 50 max, and we're gonna see if we can find like a bulk lot here, and it did not work with my max, so that's okay. We'll just click on this one, and then obviously I can go in here, buy one, lot of 11, buy two, and then obviously if you didn't know where they're getting all these minifigures, they're just going on the Lego Pick-a-Brick, and they are doing exactly what I showed you guys how to do in my first method, and then they're coming on eBay and selling them for much more expensive, which is smart, but also obviously scamming people who are unaware of Lego's official Pick-a-Brick. See here we got some Black Falcons for sale. See, $30. So eBay is obviously going to be one of the more random ones. Obviously you can get some really good deals. Most of them are going to be pretty mediocre. Like this, it's not many, 55. On Lego Pick-a-Brick it's going to be about $2 or $3 per, whereas on eBay you see, let's see, there's 6 minifigs there. You're paying almost $8 a minifig. It's $150, you know, you get 5, 10, like 15 minifigs. So you're going to be paying about $10 per minifig on eBay, which is a lot more, but obviously they have a wider range than Lego's official Pick-a-Brick, you know, older minifigures. But also you have to watch out, a lot of it's going to be counterfeit or fake Lego, so just keep an eye out, watch shipping prices. Obviously you're probably not going to want to buy anything like this. This is just a rip-off. Let's see. Here we go. See, this is just them buying it off Lego's official website, keeping it in the packaging, and then going ahead and reselling it for an extreme profit. But obviously, this is my last worst method for buying your army in bulk in 2025. you're not really going to get a good piece to price ratio on eBay. I would stick to Bricklink or Pick-a-Brick, and only if you had to come to eBay as a last resort. But these are all 3 of my ways. I'll have links in the description for everything you might need: Lego Pick-a-Brick, Bricklink, the different sets you might want to put in. Everything you're going to need is going to be in the description. I'll link some other videos that will explain maybe more in detail, or links to parts lists that you can use to more easily find the pieces you might be looking for. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing, and with that, have a great rest of your day.